See if it worked, fellas. I think it did. Oh, yeah. All right. I'll make sure to get the link out.
We live?
People filtering in. We are
Awesome.
live.
Beautiful. How you doing?
How you doing? All right. So this is our second live stream, fellas. We're going to be discussing the Bocce Bros Cup with a recent modification tournament. We decided to keep December 3rd available to everyone for some bocce play. We decided to go with the Bocce Bros Cup, which we will describe here in a little bit. We're going to do the team draw as well as group draw. Anthony will be able to hopefully explain it a little bit better to everyone via video. Obviously, he gave a well-detailed explanation, and I feel like after 4 sentences in some of these groups, people just lose concentration. So the video should help. But we're going to talk about some other stuff prior to that. Especially the Dallas tournament, the Lone Star tournament you guys played in. We had Big E on, really good podcast with him, pretty successful one, had a lot of listeners. So thank you guys. As always, please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review to the Bocce Bros page. Dante, what's up?
How you doing?
Good.
We already lost. Did we already lose Mad Cugini?
We might have.
It appears that way. But yeah, I could speak a little bit on Dallas. One of the best tournaments I think I've ever been to. We'll wait for some more people to filter in here. Wait for Cooge to get back on.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, welcome back.
Thanks.
No worries.
But yes, I will explain it better. Bring your calculus book because you're going to need it in about 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Chris was just giving us a little intro into Dallas and what we'll talk about in this episode. But Anthony, I was just telling Chris, that was one of the best tournaments I've ever been to personally. It sounded like it was going to be good going into it, but I think expectations were exceeded. How do you feel about it?
It was by far one of the best tournaments. I mean,
Why? Why?
It was well timed, so you knew exactly when you're playing. You were fed the whole time, alcohol the whole time, entertainment the whole time. I mean, there wasn't a moment where, and no offense to other tournaments. I mean, we all do our best when we're running tournaments, but there's times when you're just kind of sitting around and you're like, okay, like when do I play next? It just never felt like that. It just always felt like there was something going on where you just weren't even thinking about playing. You were actually like, okay, when I'm done playing, I'm going to go do this and do that and do this.
Yeah. I mean, they had masseuses, multiple masseuses.
Yep.
So after a couple games, standing all day. I think that's the worst part of a lot of the tournaments, is the standing around, sitting around. But like you said, there was always something to do, whether it was go get a massage or like you did, you threw $5 on the long shot to win, and you won like $200. I think you came up, you asked for the $5 because we did well in the round robin play, so we got like 50, 70 some dollars to play in with Lone Star Bucks. Anthony comes up, just grabs $5 from me. He's like, I don't care, I'm putting it on 5, and just like walks away. Ends up winning, of course.
There's a story why though. So the night before, and anyone watched our Instagram, which we had quite a bit of followers seeing what we were doing, that we went live, we all bet on horse 7. So everyone put their money on 7, like the whole floor put their money on 7. We're all screaming 7, 7, 7. Doesn't hit. 6 beats 7. So after we lose, which I don't really want to talk about, but we lost. I lost the game. I got back. I was upset. And I'm like, Dante, give me $5. I was like, horse 6. I don't even know what race I put it on. Apparently, I put it on the 32-1 odds horse, and it hit. I was so happy.
Correct. Yeah, sad Cugini went to happy Cugini.
Big E's first comment was, "Happy Cugini's back."
Never see him smile. It was a big moment.
Yeah,
it was a big
it was
moment.
fun.
But just all to the point Anthony's making, just all over, greatly run. Timing was amazing. Didn't sit long. Got to play a bunch of games. Can't wait for next year, what he has in store. I'm sure it'll be just as good, if not better. That's for sure.
I already booked my Airbnb.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully he's better than the last one. If you're listening, Anthony's notorious for booking terrible accommodations. He switches us last
our lesson
minute.
By now.
I know you would think. He just needs supervision. He's not bad. He just needs a little supervision. And he switched our Airbnb the night before. He's like, don't worry, better deal, good spot. This 108-year-old home. 108-year-old home as well, which I thought they had limits. Had to be a newer home than that. The Passion of the Christ was in that building. It was haunted.
How about our car situation? I was so mad that we were spending so much on a rental. I found Turo the night before. Some guy literally shows up at the airport, hands us a minivan. Like, okay, see you later. See you Sunday. We're like, what? 2015 minivan. It was great. So it was a good time.
Hey, minivan.
Shout out to
They are.
Shout out to James Salvaggio for putting up with us. He played with us all weekend.
For stepping in for Chris. Chris is going next year, so be the Bocce Bros.
He put up with all our stuff, all our shit for the weekend.
So, give me a rundown. How'd you guys do, play wise?
I mean, group play we did great. Yeah.
5-0 first night. We tied with
Catullo.
Yeah, Catullo, Capogreco, Rocco Delisio, and Bubba for the best record. And
our differential was plus 37. Yeah.
None of that friggin' matters until the next day. Which what did we go? 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
And then where's out after that. But regardless, stuck around, played for fun cash games, whatever you want to call them. We found any game we can get in after that, that's for sure.
Little shout out here to some of our listeners. Kenny Logston. What's up, Kenny? I'm sure we'll talk about him shortly here.
Yeah.
Chris Chim, Big E says, thank you, friends. Chris Chim said Dallas rocks. Jimmy Salvaggio said Dallas was a great time for sure. We have Rocco Delisio said hats off to Big E. He also said best tournament he's ever been a part of. Love Rocco. We should get Rocco on the pod for sure. So thank you guys for tuning in. But guys, I want to ask you both went down and played Kenny one-on-one. Anthony, most recent. Yeah, Anthony, why don't you go ahead and talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we went to Orlando, Universal Studios, and was heading down to Marco to my parents' place. And I was like, I might as well stop by and see Ken. And showed up, and he was in his full Youngstown gear, ready to go. I did bring him some gifts, so in the near future you should see some new apparel on him. So I'm sure he'll flash that. I won't share what I gave him, so he'll have to show that on videos. And we went to his courts, and they look pretty much like the video, except they look shorter. Like in the video, they look longer, but they're definitely shorter in real life. And then the shooting rule is like insane. Like literally, the rules say no fast rolling or hard knocking. I'm like, what? Like I want to take a marker and just scratch it off. Like, what is this? Like, how can you play no fast rolling or hard knocking? So he graciously gave me the Polino, and after watching Dante and my dad play him, I knew playing him short, I would have the advantage.
Oh my God. Anthony watched tape, of course.
Until about point, it was 8-0, I think, when he finally got Polino back. And then he took me long. I think I lost a point or two, and then we ended at 10-2. But it was fun. I mean, he was great. He played great, rolls great. And then his challenges smoked me on the challenges. Actually, Paolo, I know you guys watched the whole video. I want to cut the end. So Ken made me throw 2 balls, roll 2 balls, and then throw 2 balls at the same time to hit it. Paolo hit both of them twice.
Oh my God.
Like I missed 4 in a row, and he hit them right off the bat. Bang, bang. It was like, what? So that was fun. So yeah, Dante, I don't know about your experience, but I had a blast. So thank you, Ken, for inviting us.
Ken and his wife, Allison, I believe is her name.
Yep.
Very gracious, very kind. For those of you listening if you're listening, you probably know who we're talking about, but Ken from left field just joined the Bocce Underground Facebook group and just immersed himself on social media, was making videos, still making videos, posting every day, and basically became like almost like a character in the bocce community. But saw the opportunity to visit him, and it was nothing but nice. Paul, Anthony's dad, also came, and Anthony's mom, and we're supposed to have lunch with them. Spent I think 4 hours of our day with Ken and Allison, and Ken beat me the first game. And Anthony, I think you had trouble with this too. How did the hitting go on that court?
It was so tough. You have to stop at the line, no movement. It was
you
crazy.
can't run through like we do in Northeast Ohio or wherever. You have to stop. So I had trouble with that. My ball hooks when I stop, so I had to switch to the bowling style of hitting, and that's when I started to do better. And finally took him down. But Ken's a really good roller. It's not fake. Would you agree, Ant? I think he's a good roller.
He's a great roller, and I saw his team is 15-3 in his league play, so he'll probably win that. So I was scoping what he was doing on there. So, but it was a good time.
Thank you again, Ken. We appreciate it for the hospitality, and hopefully we could fly you out here one day to Northeast Ohio for a tournament.
Exactly.
100. So, you guys want to run through some recent?
Yeah.
Some of the stores.
Yeah, let's run through. Let me share my screen here. So I think, we finished off with the high stakes by CPF right before our last podcast. And I think the following weekend, the Dirty 30 won the Devil's Trucking Women's Fall Classic. I heard that went till 2 a.m. So I guess it was a long night for the ladies.
That was at Jerry's World, right?
Yep, that was at Jerry's.
Devil's Trucking one, yeah.
JAC Productions.
JAC Productions, yep. And then at the same time, the same weekend, there was the double Neo run by Roger at Neo's. Great tournament, 19 teams. I think Dante Chiavetti, Matt Taylor played together. Ron Dog and Stewie played together. So there's some good names there. But Sal and Mike took the crown. I played with Rocco for the first time, and that was fun. But they took the crown, so congrats to them. And then the Dallas tournament that we just talked about, Prosimo from California. I think we're trying to get him on our podcast, if I'm not mistaken, Dante.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, good people. They didn't shoot too often, right? It was one of those teams that don't shoot often.
They just rolled. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then that same weekend was the high stakes. So Dante and I had a little challenge going on with top 5, and I think we both had Pete and Marco in the top 5, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So congrats to those guys for winning. I don't even know what 6, 7, 8K.
Marco, future.
I got a shout out. Sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just saying Marco's a future guest. So as you guys know, he throws a 4-man NEO tournament at the end of December. So we're gonna have him on in the upcoming weeks.
And a shout out to second place in that tournament was Ron Capogreco and Matt Estes, which I think took home like 3K, which is a pretty good second place prize to be taken home after a hard.
Absolutely. And then I think this last tournament was just this past weekend, right, guys? If you guys want to touch upon this one.
Classic crickets.
Yep.
Yeah, IBS took
Vern, Sean and Lou.
So congrats to those guys for winning.
Yeah.
So I think, go ahead. So I think what's next is the Bocce Bro Cup. So you guys want to get into the format and everything?
Yeah, break it down. Everyone was pretty confused about your post.
All right. Let me see if I can show the screen here. Just give me a second. Let me switch this out.
With, we've all been fairly busy in recent weeks. And obviously with Thanksgiving, the big game this weekend, go Bucks. It's wild to think, okay, and the week after we have this tournament. So a lot of exciting stuff the next 2 weeks, that's for sure.
And the USA in the World Cup. Don't forget that.
That's right. Yeah.
So unfortunate tie today, but they'll have England on Friday. All right. So the Bocce Bros Cup. So we have 20 teams. We started with 16 as a cap, and then we had some teams that really would like to join us. So we opened it up to 20. So we had to tweak the format a little bit, but I think Chris, Dante, and I have attended a lot of tournaments this year. And I would say, we've talked about what we've really enjoyed, what we haven't enjoyed, and where tournaments can improve to get more, I would say, bang out of your buck. So really the whole thing around this tournament is, at least minimum 4 games for every team. So it's not like a double elimination where you're 2 and out. And then really a chance to showcase if you really are that top team in some cases, or if you're from the bottom, can you climb all the way out? So you're going to see a mix of everything here, and we'll kind of just go through it. So let me go to the next tab here. So we're going to have 5 groups, and those 5 groups will consist of 1 Cleveland team, 1 Youngstown team, 1 Columbus, PA, or Kentucky team, and then we have 2 Chicago, 1 New York, and then an overflow of two Cleveland teams. So unfortunately, 2 groups will have 2 Cleveland teams, but for this year, I think it's a pretty good balance on what we were shooting for.
And
so
we're
going
doing that because
go ahead. Yep.
You want to explain why we're doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Vegas do it, and we've seen other tournaments do it where you're not always playing the same teams over and over again. So by grouping everyone together, Cleveland technically won't have to play another Cleveland team in the group play, and they'll get to experience playing other teams. So those Chicago and New York teams, why would they come from Chicago then to play each other? This way they know they're not going to play each other. And I kind of like that, right? Because, we're in the group with Kentucky. We play LBA all the time. We know we're not going to play them in the group play, but we're absolutely going to meet them probably in the tournament play. So it just kind of lets your group play see different faces, see different games, see different strategies, and then you go into the tournament play.
Love it.
All right. So once the group play happens, we're going to rank everyone within your group first. So, for example, if we're talking about Group A, we're going to rank Group A, and we're doing it World Cup style. So I really liked how Big E did his. So it's going to be games 1 first, and then it's going to be by point differential second. So not head to head. That's very, very important for people to notice. It's point differential second. Then it's head to head. And then if we still can't get a winner, we'll go to a median average win. So that's more of the calculus I was talking about, but hopefully we don't have to get there. But that's more or less saying if you win like 11-1 and 11-2, you're going to be favored over someone who won 11-10 and 11-9, essentially. So we'll look at the scores of the games. Once we have all the groups ranked, so your A group's ranked, your B group's ranked, your C group's ranked, your D group's ranked, your E group's ranked, we're actually going to rank them then overall. So really, who is the number 1 team out of everyone, right? So we're going to take here in this example, B3 had the best record, point differential. There's no head-to-head, obviously, and then the median scoring. So the top 6 will auto-qualify for the gold tournament. And really, the gold tournament means you can win the first or second place prize money right off the bat. That's really what that means. And then the bottom 14 still have a shot for 2 spots left into the gold tournament. So if you think about the morning, just to give you guys kind of a preview, when we all show up, we're all starting at 9. We wanted to start at a reasonable time. The first 3.5, 4 hours is group play. So we're all going to play 3 games that morning. So everyone's going to play 3 games. The luxury of Neo is 6 courts, and it should be continuous back-to-back games, quick breaks where needed, maybe a drink here and there. But it should be a really fun morning of just like continuous play across your group, just like the World Cup is happening right now, where you're going to see games every day, three times a day right now. So does that make sense, Chris and Dante?
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
So here's some of the fun kicker stuff we added. So you rank the first, second, and third teams. Well, really, who is the best? Just because you might have a better record, let's have them play in a little group play on the side and see who gets first, second, and third into the gold tournament. So those 3 teams are actually going to play in a little group play setting and play each other. So you're going to get to play possibly the championship game, if you're technically the top 2 teams, a preview early in the day, which might be the final game at night, right? Technically, right? If you set up like a bracket. So that's kind of cool. So we'll have the first, second, and third team play each other. And then again, we'll look at the points, we'll look at the scores, we'll look at the head-to-head, and then we'll actually seed you in the gold on how you do. So these games do matter. So if the first team goes in and says, whatever, I made it, and you lose both games, well, you're going to be placed 3rd in the bracket, and you're going to have a harder route, right? So that's kind of some fun incentive there. And then also the 4th, 5th, and 6th team are going to do the same. So we're going to say, okay, who really is 4th and 5th and 6th? And that matters, right? Because if you know how brackets are set up, are you going to be on the 1 side? Are you going to be on the 2 side? Are you going to be on the 3 side? So those teams will play each other. So that's kind of happening. While that's happening, we're going to have some additional seeding right matches where team 7 gets to play team 8. And if team 8 beats team 7, guess what? They flip. If team 9 beats team 10, then they stay the same. If not, they flip. Same thing for 11 and 12, and same thing for 13 and 14. So if we take a quick kind of look, pretty much these teams all the way up into 14 are playing some type of like seeding right games just to determine where you're going to place into the, we'll say, the tournament bracket. So I don't think any tournament's ever done that. I think it's kind of cool because you're kind of ranked with some team that's close to you, and you really get to gauge, like, am I that good? Am I going to get beat? Is the team that I'm going to meet later? Are you going to get a preview of a game that's really going to be an elimination game later? I don't know. We're going to find out. But it's just kind of a new add to this whole tournament mix. Any questions so far?
No.
In the
much
comments,
easier to
too,
understand.
This is the time to ask the questions. If you're watching and you're like, what the hell is going on? Throw it in the comments. We'll try to get to them. And when I say Will, Anthony, we'll try to get to it.
Yeah. So the bottom 6 are actually going to play an elimination bracket. This I really do like. How many times do you go to a tournament and you're like, man, I wish we just could have played maybe an easier team or a team that I feel like I could have beat? Well, guess what? If you land in the bottom 6, you get to play the bottom 6 in a tournament bracket to get back to the bottom 10. Okay. So we're taking the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th team, and we're gonna play them, and the 2 winners will move on to the next kind of tournament playoff bracket. So technically, this is these teams' 4th guaranteed game. If they do lose, you will be eliminated from the tournament. But this would be their 4th guaranteed game for these teams. Okay.
Yeah.
Those 2 winners move on to the remaining 10-team playoff. So remember when you were playing 7 and 8, and if you beat 7, you get to flip? Or remember when 9 and 10 were playing each other, or 11 and 12 were playing each other? This is what it matters, where you get seeded in here. So, if 8 can beat 7 in that seeding right, then 7th goes here, and guess what? They get the winner of 14 and 15 versus the winner of 13 and 16. So it could matter in the end. All these games matter. So this will be elimination games also, where these guys will play. And then these 2 winners that make it out of this get to head back to the gold playoff. And the gold playoff was that top 6. So however that seeding worked between 1 through 6, we'll seed them out. And then 7 and 8 will come out right here, and we'll put them on the 8-team gold playoff. First place and second place are right here. Now, this is one thing that I hate when we go to tournaments and you get to this spot and you're like, man, let's say we got upset by team 8 and we were ranked first, or some team got upset by team 8. They get another chance for the money. So anyone that makes the gold playoff gets dropped down to the bronze, and they have a chance to win the 4th and 3rd place bracket. So, you might say, well, group play really doesn't matter. Well, it does, because if you're top 6, you're pretty much guaranteed almost 2 shots at winning either first, second, or 1 shot at first, second, and then another shot at 3rd, 4th. And then, if you're 7 through, 20, you really want to win any of those seeding right games, or even your obviously elimination games, because you can make it back all the way to the money. And that tournament will probably take us from 9 till my guess is probably a 7:15 final kickoff, maybe 7 o'clock, and be done and out of there by 8 o'clock. So.
I love it.
I don't know if you guys have questions, but it's new, it's different. I think a lot of teams haven't played in something like this. But I'm excited because it's just going to bring a twist to more games, more fun, more playing each other, and just, I don't know, switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Dante.
No, you go. We both said the same thing. That was just funny. You can start it off.
I was gonna say we every tournament we play in, we love. They all have their own different atmosphere. They're ran differently. And we really enjoy all of that. And we're just trying to find a way to mix it up and create something fun as well that we can call our own. So we appreciate all the other tournaments because that's what and who we learned from. So thank you guys, especially. I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't seem like there's many questions from listeners and watchers here, the viewers, excuse me. But I do want to shout out Chris Chim said, so we just show up and play bocce when Anthony tells us to.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And Bo said, someone say something about a slide, question mark. Shout out to Bo Wetzel. But all I had.
Awesome. No, I'm super excited. And, I think all of us together have talked about things we like. So I kind of took a little bit of everything. We bounced off ideas and, together we come up with the Bocce Bros Cup. I think next year, right, we kind of even talked about expanding it to 2 days. I really, and Chris and Dante know this, I really want to throw 2v2 in here, meaning like your 4-man, you take 2 people and play another 2 people, and then you take another 2 people and play another 2 people, even if it's the same team. So I think next year, look for that. We're going to do some cool things around that. So your team's not going to just play a 4-man walk. You're going to play doubles. We'll make it, 2 days, and we'll incorporate hopefully more cities and just really give a different experience to just that 2-and-out type of tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
that's
bring
exciting.
cash. Bring extra cash. We're going to have a 3-point contest. There's NEO basketball hoops right next door. I know if Ron Capogreco, if you're listening, he's going to want to try to get some hoops up. We'll make it fun though. We'll have the music going. The vibes will be up. And like Anthony said, only next year it'll only be bigger and better. But that being said, you guys ready to do this?
Yeah. I am ready to do it. So let me give a quick kind of breakdown of the teams real fast, and then we'll do the draws. Does that work? So Cleveland teams, we have Alta House, Anger Management, Orlando Remodeling, Neo, Avanti, DZ, and Bad Action. Youngstown, we have St. Anthony's, Watertight, Tactical Protection, Briar Hill, and ITM 39ers. Ohio, Kentucky, PA, we have the Bocce Bros, we have the Columbus Bros, we have LBA, Random 4, and the Farrell Italian Home. And then New York, Chicago, Short Street Bocce, Gem Bocce, and American Bocce Company. So these are the 20 teams. What we're going to be doing live tonight is I have all 7 of the Cleveland teams in here. We're going to pick the first 2 that come out and move them down to the bucket down here. And then as I draw Group A first, Chris will draw what group number that team gets. So you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, so let's pick the first 2 Cleveland teams that are to pop down. Here we go. So Avanti is going to move down. So I'm going to cut them, move them down here. Give me a second. Okay. And then, so I'm going to put this in the Chicago, New York bucket. Let me fold this back up. Sorry, guys, we're doing this live, so make sure I do this right. All right. And then the other Cleveland team is going to be Alta House. So Alta House will move to the Chicago, New York buckets. All right. So Chris, here's what I'm going to do. I have 4 buckets in front of me. I have New York. I have Cleveland. I have Youngstown. I have.
This is great.
I have Columbus, and I have the New York, Chicago. Okay. So I'm just going to go one by one.
And if possible, too, if we can do it quickly while we name the team name, if we can go down the rosters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm going to pick Chicago. I'm going to pick Cleveland first. So the first team for Group A will be Anger Management. And then we need an A number, Chris.
A number A1.
All right, they get A1.
And Anger Management is
Dan Trapepi, Steve Morgano, James Salvaggio, and Bob DeLise. All right, we're going to pick a Youngstown team. Watertight Roofing. And that is, yep, go ahead. That's Danny Catullo, Frank Popio, Joe Palumbo, and Tim Wilson. They will be
A3.
A3. And guys, the A seating just matters on who you play first and when. So we kind of have a schedule for everyone. So we'll post this when we're done. All right, we're going to pick a Columbus team. Random 4. So that Columbus, Kentucky, PA, random 4. It's like a good group. A4. Okay.
Bingo.
Random 4 gets A4. Bingo. All right. And then the last team in this group is American Bocce Company.
Chicago boys. They get A2.
A2.
And their roster
Is Andy Zimmerman, Alex Guerra, Milan, and Lauren McDermott. You said that was A2, right? Okay. All right, let's do it again. Cleveland team coming out. You got the Bees ready?
Yep.
All right. DZ. DZ. That is
B1.
Evie. D1. DZ. That is Evie, Danny, Tomo, and Mile. D1.
B1.
Oh, sorry. B1. Thank you. My bad. I was thinking DZ, B1. Okay. All right. Let's go to Youngstown. Briar Hill.
B2.
That is Bo Wetzel, Don Motorelli, Ben Diaz, and Anthony Del Toro. All right, let's get a Columbus team or Kentucky team. The Columbus Bros.
B3. We went in order.
B3. Okay. And who we getting out here? Short Street Bocce.
That's B4.
All right. 4. All right, let's do it again. Got your C's ready?
Yeah.
Orlando Remodeling.
C3.
Okay. Youngstown team.
Who's on Orlando?
That is Marco Orlando Jr. and Sr., Alessio DeFranco, and Tim S. Zale. All right. ITAM 39ers. C2. That is Bubba Infante, Ron Capagreco, Anthony Capagreco, and Matt Estes. All right.
Farrell Italian Home. They are C1.
Okay. And the last bucket out of here. Alta House.
C4.
Okay. 2 more times.
Almost
Here we
there,
go.
people.
Almost there.
Yeah, no, I see your question. We'll get to it in a minute.
Neo.
D3.
D3.
D.
Okay. All right.
Neo's Roger Smith, the owner of Neo.
Yeah, Neo is, sorry, I didn't read it. Roger Smith,
Smith.
Mike Yeah, Mike Vitantonio, Dave Boyza, and Mark Mohar. Okay. Tactical protection.
D.
D1. Okay. The Bocce Bros.
Hey,
D2.
tactical protection. That's Patrick Durkin, Ray Carlson, Mike Romeo, and John Durkin.
Yep.
The Youngstown boys.
And we have Jem Bocce.
D4.
And that's the other team from Chicago. Anthony Martocci, Dominic, Ken, and Frank.
Yeah, good people. Met them out in Detroit. Incredibly nice. Really nice people.
Okay.
Supporting them making the trip out.
So, Chris, if you just want to pick the letters for the last group, we kind of know who they are. So this should be Bad Action. Bad Action.
E3.
E3. Got it. This should be St. Anthony's.
E4.
It is. E4. The next one should be LBA.
E1.
LBA. Okay, and last one should be Avanti. Yep, there you go.
E2.
Awesome. So those are groups. I will post this under the Bocce Bros later tonight. Kind of show each group. Yeah, it's great. C.
Awesome.
C looks like a tough group, not gonna lie. So C caught my eye. It has Orlando Remodeling, ITM 39ers, Alta House, and Farrell Italian. That's a heavy hitting group.
Why don't you go through A through E here? Name them off.
I was saying, are you able to like color code them for the people watching right now? That way they can like decipher who's in what group.
Yep. Yeah. Why don't I just move them? We'll just do it that way.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, just do it now. That way we can.
So A1, anger management. A3, and I'll stop here. Let me move them and then we'll talk through them. Hold on.
Yeah.
A1, A3. This one's a tough group too. A4 and A2. Okay, so the A group has anger management, watertight roofing, Random 4, and American Botch Company. So that's a good group. I mean, you got Dan Trepepi and James Salvaggio in there with Morgano and Galise. You got the Youngstown crew, you got the Koppel crew, and you got the Chicago crew. So that's a great group right there. That's a tough group.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oops, sorry about that. Okay, next group. So the B group. So the B, this is Evie, your boy Evie, Dante. G1. Briar Hill. Maybe we'll get a slide out in Neo.
Oh, yeah. We're also going to have MMA matches in the ring. Bring cash for that.
Let's talk about this Columbus Bro team. Paul Cugini, John Panico, Vincenzo, and Cody.
We'll see.
Cody.
Cody's a sleeper. Hasn't been out in the circuit much.
And then the Short Street Bocce crew. So this is a good group. This is a very balanced group. I like it.
I agree.
See how that. Let's go to the C group. So I think this is probably one of the toughest groups. So Orlando Remodeling with Orlando's there. We have the ITAM 39ers with Bubba, Ron, Capagreco, and Estes. Yeah.
Bubba.
Farrell, which is a great team. Those guys are always in it. And then lastly, we have Alta House. I mean, this is a tough group.
They're all tough.
Yeah, they're all tough.
Yeah, there's not going to be any easy groups.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose Cooge?
He looks frozen.
He looks frozen for sure. Frozen Cooge.
Dante, you look frozen as well.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you've been frozen for a little bit now.
Well, that's not good.
This is annoying.
Yeah, I'm watching the live right now. I still see you. So the show goes on, baby.
What's up? Just as I designed it. Oh, he's coming back.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
Frozen Cooge.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, let me finish showing my screen here. Okay. So I got a roster update midstream here. So Pat Durkin needs to update his roster, so we'll get that corrected. It's Pat Durkin, his dad, Brett Weidenthal, and Nikki Amendola, and their name is actually going to be Riviera Creek. So we'll fix that.
Gotcha. Also, with tactical protection, John Durkin, is that supposed to be Jack Durkin?
Probably. Who knows?
Okay, I was curious who John was, but I went with the flow there. Most likely it's Jack.
Stupid autocorrect.
Yeah, autocorrect for sure.
Okay, and then the last group here is Bad Action. Nice little team there with your boy Russ, Frank, Doug Cardle, and Mike Trevis. St. Anthony's, LBA, always in it.
I don't think we need to say the LBA roster.
No, I don't think so. All right, there you guys have it. There are your groups, Group A, B, C, D, and E. Like we said in the morning, we'll do some group play.
I just sent you Luciano's question, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to look at that and answer.
Yeah, so Luciano's question is correct. So we're going to take the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that 6th place, whoever gets overall 6th, will get an automatic bid in. So essentially what's going to happen is, if we go back to the slides here, we're going to rank, like we said, every group, right? 1 through 5 of each group. So those will get an auto bid into the gold tournament. And then whoever gets that best record of the second place team will get an auto bid into the gold tournament. So that is correct. So we were kind of giving an incentive. So like for maybe a group that got like a really, really hard group, but they do well, they still can make it in there. So.
Love it.
Yeah.
So post schedules.
So I will post schedules probably this week, tonight, tomorrow. I have it all laid out right here. So we have all the games, who plays who, kind of all laid out with a couple breaks in there. So everything's kind of set, ready to go. You guys can see right here, the 6:55 time is what I'm anticipating for the championship, but you never know if we have good games.
Right.
And we'll go from there. Point wise, we'll put out points for the groups, what we'll go up to. I think we decided after Dallas 10 was really quick, so we're going to do a little more than 10. And then the tournament play, those playoff games will probably be 12, and then the gold, we're still deciding between 12 or 14. So we'll post all that. But
cool.
I'm super excited. This is a great group. Thanks to everyone who signed up for this Bocce Bros Cup with us.
This is I feel like it's more widespread than usual for typical just throwing together.
Yeah, for it being, we only had a couple weeks to plan it, and for us to fill it fairly quickly with teams from all over, that's great. So kudos to everybody who's able to make it. Definitely. Anything you guys think we can do to make it better, let us know. But hopefully this is something that goes well, and we'll keep it going year in and year out. Is there anything else, fellas? We're 45 minutes into it, so I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. December, shortly after our tournament, is Marco's tournament at the same location, NEO. You can probably look out for us to live stream. You know, especially the championship game there. Do it all up, multiple cameras. So keep an eye out there. We possibly might be doing that. Yeah, that's all I have.
Subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't, please.
Yeah,
Our
so the
Instagram.
live stream that the two-man that you did, Anthony, I thought did really well at NEO. So it's nice to know that they have the connection for that. So like they said, you know, we're gonna stream our tournament. Hopefully we'll stream NEO as well. In order for us to continue to do that, we definitely need the followers. So appreciate you guys subscribing, but pass it along to others, and we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is the Bocce Bros live stream. We're going to do more of these coming up. If you want to be a sponsor, please reach out to us. We'll share some information on that soon. But our goal is to do more of these in the future, just to create a little bit more buzz about the game. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.